Just check it.
Okay, we're live. Welcome everybody back to the NorCalX YouTube channel podcast. With me today, I got April from Finding Northern California, or is it Finding NorCal? April?
Finding NorCal.
So tell my audience a little bit about you. Like, where are you originally from? How long? I mean, your childhood. Tell me
The whole story.
So the thing with me is, like, I'm a big comic book nerd. I mean, I don't read comics, but I love the movies, right? And I like the origin story. So you're kind of, I want to hear your origin.
You want the
story.
prequel.
The prequel, yes.
Of the Finding NorCal story.
Yes.
Let's see. Born in Washington State, in a little fishing town called Bellingham, about 15 miles from the Canadian border, just off the I-5. So very rainy, very cold. Spent my childhood in Washington State, dealing with the cold and rain. My grandparents lived in San Jose, California, so I would summer down here. I would visit, do holidays in California, and I really liked the sun.
How was the commute? How was the commute from San Jose to
San Jose to Washington? Because we lived in different places in Washington, but it's about 10 hours, I'd say, each way. So
it was pretty.
It was fun. I always thought it was fun. The family vacation to see the California family.
Would you guys stop on the way, like on the coast or anything?
No, we just take the 5 and just jam the whole way.
Yeah.
Get there and hang out.
What about stops, like to eat or something?
It was always different, just depending. There's a lot of us, so it could be for any reason why we need to pull over now, you know.
So you're one of how many siblings?
Just me and my brother, but I grew up with my 2 cousins.
Okay.
So technically there was 4 of us.
Okay.
4 kids, so.
So then from Washington, did you go to Vegas? Or
Washington, I moved to Vegas when I was 17 and a half. And saw the sun every day. Not a cloud I didn't understand. That was really amazing.
What year was that, moved to Vegas?
I'm going to say in 94.
94?
Yeah.
I think that's the first time I went there. I played football in Reno. Football camp was in Reno, and I remember one from the Central Coast, right? So 84, you're burning up, right? And I remember going down to football camp, and everybody was complaining. I'm not a big complainer. I just go, fuck it, just deal with it, right? But everyone's like, fuck, man, if I had my car here, I'd leave the air conditioner on before I would go in.
Right.
And I remember it would feel like you're in an oven, right? With the wind blowing and everything.
Yeah, kind of like someone's pointing a hairdryer at your face, right?
Yes, exactly. So did you enjoy the outdoors? When you
yeah, I've adventured everywhere. I had a Volkswagen van, you know, a husband, and we traveled around, and I would say checked out everything we possibly could check out in the lower 48. Like, we cruised for a couple years.
Oh, really?
And just kind of nomad Volkswagen van life, checked things out, and just thought about, I mean, we were young, starting a new life, no kids or anything yet, so neither one of us really had a career or anything going on. So it was like, let's explore some places and see where we fit in or where we want to live. So we ended up just going all over. And finally ending up in Vegas going, there are jobs here, there are places to live for reasonable prices. The kinds of jobs were ridiculous. I mean, you're not working in a steel mill or a lumber yard or, you know, things we're used to being from Washington State. I mean, you're doing weird stuff in Vegas for the same $4.25.
A lot of casinos, though, right? Like,
I hardly worked in casinos. I did work security at MGM Grand Garden Arena, and I was there the night Mike Tyson bit off Holyfield's ear, and it was just mayhem.
Wow.
Yes.
What was that? Now, see, this is...
It was mayhem.
I had no idea, but I believe I just graduated high school, or I don't know, it could have been, was it 99 or 98?
I can't remember dates very well. I mean, yeah.
I can't remember. I remember that fight, and I just remember being so pissed off because everybody was a Mike Tyson fan.
It was crazy, like, on the security end of it. There were gunshots going off. They evacuated the casino. People lost their minds, basically. It was a full-scale riot when it happened. So the casino, they were ushering people out. There was still money on slot machines, just moving everyone outside. So then because they pushed out everyone inside the MGM Grand, outside, they all started filtering into the other casinos nearby on Tropicana right there. So they had to shut those down. So Excalibur closed their doors. Caesars closed their doors. So now you've got all these, I mean, tons of people on the street, and these people are rioting. There's people crawling up palm trees, gunshots going off. And this was way back before any of that stuff was normal. Like, it was very crazy.
I don't remember hearing any of this, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
probably didn't watch the news.
Yeah. Well, they tell what they want to show on the news, but I was there.
So when you were there, like ushering people out, did you just stay inside? Did you
and
lock the doors?
they used the emergency locks. That was one of the things when I moved to Vegas where I realized none of the buildings had locks. Everything's open 24 hours. Walgreens, places to eat, everything's 24 hours in Vegas, which I'm from Washington where everything closes at 5, nothing's open on Sunday. You know, there was a 24-hour grocery store. I'm like, this is crazy. You know,
I mean,
so
it was.
They don't have locks. So during, crazy shit like that, they would use their emergency locks and actually shut the door and
were
keep
people
people
still
out.
like pushing, trying
No,
to get
not
back
pushing. They're just booted out, and you'll just walk to the next casino, right?
Okay.
You know.
So where were you stationed? Like in the?
I was in the MGM Grand Garden Arena, so it's an arena, with like stadium seating. So there's like different levels of the arena. So I had like level 3 or whatever, and I had a cheesy walkie-talkie, and I didn't really do anything. I was kind of like a snitch where I'd be like, there's a shady guy over here, someone should come check him out. Like, that's all I did was alert the big dudes to come, I was like a 18-year-old kid, like, what was I gonna do at a Mike Tyson Evander Holyfield fight? Like, I'm gonna boss people around, right? No.
The night before, could you feel the energy? Because I know I've been there during big fights, and you could just feel there's like an energy. Right?
They had so many weird things that they did there, like everything from like a Bette Midler concert. You've never seen so many like menopausal old ladies come out of the woodwork. Like, that's the crowd. So then you get a comedian, you get that crowd. Like, the crowd changes with the event. So it's, it was super entertaining to work there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet. But that's...
I worked at the Gambler's General Store.
Mm-hmm.
It's the world's largest gift store. And, oh my gosh. I had probably 50 jobs in Vegas.
Yeah.
Just because most of them were just like events or seasonal, or we only need you for this long, because things change so fast in Vegas. So then that would get really old. So on my days off, I would take off and go out to the desert to like my favorite little hideaway desert town called Tacopa. Okay. It's near Death Valley. Mm-hmm. And hang out there with my hippie friend Jack, who we would smoke grass. Because in Vegas, it was 20 years to life felony if you got caught in Vegas with any kind of that. So we would go out to the desert and start exploring around there. And finally I was like, this is just too hot. Just too many people. There was 2 million people there when I left. So moved back over here where the trees, shade. I thought I was escaping the heat, but it's just as hot here. And, it really is Vegas hot.
So how many years were you in Vegas?
Almost 9.
9. And
yeah.
then where did you land here in Northern California?
I landed in Chico, California. And
did you know Chico prior to coming here?
I had just a mutual friend that lived here, and I came to visit and decided I like it here. I want to stay here, and met my next husband, and we started a life here, and that was in 2001. So that's when I got to Northern California.
Did you visit Bidwell Park and hike that?
Oh yeah, I lived a half a block from the entrance to 1 mile in Chico to the Bidwell Park. So yeah, I had 3 dogs, walking them around, and yeah.
What were your favorite places to eat out in Chico? Was Sierra Nevada Brewery? It was still
Sierra
there,
Nevada
right?
was like brand new when I moved here. It was brand new. The casino was like a circus tent.
Was it?
Yeah. Gold Country was literally like the circus tent, like a Quonset hut tent. It's still out there. They use it for like storage or bingo or something. I don't know. But Yeah, I mean, way back. So I've seen some things change. Places to eat, like Celestino's Pizza is just great pizza. And it kind of got hard to impress me once I moved here from Vegas because I'm used to
high-end,
all kinds of crazy shit going on in Vegas. You can't really top Vegas.
No,
you
it's
just
true.
can't.
It's
So
true.
I did find some little jewels and gems around that, that I still go to this day.
So when you were in Chico, did you just explore just the Chico area? Did you expand?
Oh, no, I went everywhere. I had a boat. Went to just about every lake up here, salmon fishing on the rivers. After I got rid of my boat, started doing more shore fishing. I love bass fishing. So if there's bass fishing, I want to go. There's something so serene about just up there.
When's bass fishing season?
All year.
Is it
Yeah.
year-round?
I strictly catch and release. I just like to trick them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to kill it. I just, and it's not like a bait fish that you throw a blob of bait out there and of course they're going to eat it. Like a bass is really like not hungry and could really give a shit.
Yeah.
So if you do catch one, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, no, my brother is a huge fisherman.
It's
I don't I don't do it just because I know it's addicting because I see he would like skip work and everything, right? Be gone.
Right.
For
Well,
days at
it
a
can
time.
be. It gets in your brain. You get fish brain, they call it. You get the fish brain.
And I've seen people like in the Central Coast, like I think May was salmon season, right? They only give you like so many a
For
week
salmon, yeah, there's two
For the
runs
general
of salmon.
public?
There's like a spring and a fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was seeing them with these big. I was like, man, those salmon look delicious.
Oh, they are. I caught the shit out of them in the Sacramento for several years, and I had to buy a smoker, and I would smoke them all different flavors and steal a meal of those and give them to people for Christmas.
So it sounds like you like to cook, or you know what you're doing.
Oh
in the
yeah, I
kitchen.
love to cook. Love to cook. Totally.
What are some of your favorite animals to cook, or do you have like lamb? Do you have anything?
Yes, I do like to roast
exotic?
animals.
Yeah.
Animals are tasty.
Yeah.
And I like everything except for like pickles.
No pickles.
No pickles. I do not like them.
Like
Ruined a
fresh
perfect-
out of the garden. No pickles.
Well, pickles don't grow. Cucumbers grow.
Oh, you're
and then
right.
people make them nasty with vinegar and stuff, and just ruin a perfectly good cucumber. I do enjoy cucumbers.
Yeah, that's
It's
funny.
the
I
pickle.
thought it was the same thing. I thought
It's
only a
the-
pickle was
it's
when
the-
you put it in the vinegar and a cucumber
Yeah,
was fresh. But
yeah,
no, they're
it's
different.
different. Yeah. So I don't know.
I like both. So.
So I just moved. So I'm learning now. I'm gonna start learning how to garden.
So this is your first
So
garden here you have in
That
your
will be
backyard?
some interesting videos I might come up with.
Is this your first garden that you've had?
It's not my first garden, but I haven't had one in many moons, so it's all new again.
Yeah.
Basically.
So now that we're here in Northern California in your backyard, how did you start off on your YouTube channel? Was it first just YouTube, nothing else prior?
I had a Facebook channel. I think I've had my Facebook since 2012. I want to say a long time. Actually had a MySpace before that. Always been kind of a social media person. When I came to Facebook, I'm a huge fan of the band Depeche Mode. And so my whole Facebook was just about Depeche Mode and networking with other people who are into the band, and just, I don't know, that was just the thing. And I wouldn't let anyone be a friend if their page didn't have some Depeche Mode stuff going on. That's what it was about, and then because I didn't want to put my family on there, or my daughter. I have a beautiful daughter, and it's I'm not putting her pictures all up on here.
You know what?
People do that.
That's an interesting
and it bothers
question.
me.
Well, it's an interesting question because it seems like people who, I don't know if they're millennials or what you call them, before millennials, right? Because you were born, what, 70?
I'm Gen X.
Me too. That's why it's NorCalX, Generation X. And, I don't post pictures of my daughter. I really don't have anything on my Facebook. There's really nothing on there, you know? And,
yeah, I was that way too. I didn't want to make it about me. I made it about them. And so then I started watching some YouTubers that caught my attention with what they were doing. And since I've been here in Chico, I often think about the places I've explored out in the desert in Nevada. And so I found some YouTubers that actually, that's all they do, is explore the same places I used to hang out at when I was younger. And so I found that like super cool. So one of them reached out to me and was like, you should start a channel. You know, because I was basically just fan going, I'm loving what you're doing.
You were leaving comments.
This is great. I was just being a supportive
But you were
person.
leaving them comments?
Yeah, and I still am. Like, I still super supportive of what they're doing out in the desert. To walk around the desert and find stuff is a big deal. Not to everybody, but there's a group of us that get off on it. So, so I thought, okay, so I got talked into basically making a channel, and I thought, okay, well, what are we going to do? And I thought, well, let's just do the stuff that I normally do, but I'll bring the camera. I'll bring you along. Like, let's go find things. Let's go check out this volcano. Let's go check out this lake. Let's go fishing. Let's go rock hounding.
So what volcano have you checked out?
Well, we have Mount Lassen over here, which is active. We have Mount Shasta, which is active.
Is it?
The Sutter Buttes is an ancient crumbled volcano.
Yes, I know about the Sutter Buttes.
You know, this is right where especially where I was up north, but where the Cascades and the Sierra Nevada meet. So, I mean, I love geography and nerdy stuff about geology. So, I mean, it's just an interesting place. I'm a rock hounder. So there's so many interesting geologic formations going on in California right here.
Do you have something that analyzes the rocks? Or how do you...
I have books.
Okay.
I have books. I'm part of
them?
groups. You know, you learn a lot if you're interested in something like my Chevy Trailblazer. I joined a Trailblazers group on Facebook, and now I know way too much about the Trailblazer. You know, same thing with rock hounding or hiking. I don't really do much hiking anymore, but, you know, if I can drive close to it and do a little hiking, I will. But I'm not as daredevil as I was when I was younger, when I wish I would have had my camera. You know, I'm a lot more careful now than I ever was.
Well, you have to be. Like,
you know,
I'm dumb.
Times have changed.
I do dumb things like that. Like, since 2017, I said I'm going to run a marathon, and I've fucking hurt myself. I don't know how many times. And one time I, like, completely sprained my ankle. Like, it was purple. They're like, go get that checked. I'm like, no, I've always messed up my ankle. But you're smart to not put yourself in those situations.
Right.
But I'm the kind of person that goes, fuck it, I'll go camping by myself. But I'm still...
Oh, no, I still do things that I shouldn't do. You know, I've been, there's always fires popping up, so I will go check out the fire, but I don't get in the way. I'm far off looking at the fire at a safe distance, maybe getting some footage or whatever. But I've been chased off of, like, roads, like, get out of here, looky-loo, and it's like, it's for my channel, like... And I'm looking like
the firefighters say
you know,
that?
no, just like residents,
okay.
You know, like, I don't know, Karens, you know, like, I'm not hurting anyone.
That's true, huh?
You know, they chase you out of places.
That's true, I know. I know earlier you were telling me that you were caught in the car fire?
Campfire. Yeah, the 2018 campfire.
So tell me what happened. Like, what were you doing? I knew you said you were picking up your daughter. Did this already happen when you went to go pick her up, or did it just kind of happen at the same time?
No, she called me from school and said, Mom, there are ashes raining down at the school, like on fire embers. Come get me. So I drove up there and got her from Paradise High School, and we had a few minutes to get our belongings and get out, and the roads were closed and trees were falling over the main ways out. Paradise only has 3 roads getting out, basically. They're all jammed with people, fallen power trees. It was super windy that day, so the wind blew all the pine needles out of the trees, so everything had like an inch of pine needles on it. And if you've ever burned pine needles in a campfire, like how hot and fiery those are, that's basically what happened, was that intense wind, pine needles everywhere. You know, the helicopters, we saw helicopters trying to drop water buckets, and we were trapped with her for like 8 hours or something.
Where were you guys trapped at the school?
On the corner of Skyway and Wagstaff.
Just
There's
you and your daughter?
well, we had to get out of our car. We felt pretty safe in the car, trying to evacuate, but we weren't going anywhere. We were sitting there for like 4 hours, not moving. And we're just watching the sky get blacker and blacker, and I'm like, this is not good. We lived up there for 14 years. So kind of know my mountain, and I know about fires. We've had drills, and we've had fires, but this one was definitely different with the wind. that fire was just moving so fast, and it was up in the tree, so there's really no way to escape it. There's like a wall of fire coming. So when we were sitting in our car, highway patrolman went running down the middle of the street, banging on cars saying, "Get out and run. Leave your vehicles now."
Oh, there was people.
And so I was like, what? Because, I mean, there was shit falling from the sky, propane tanks exploding.
Mm.
You know, nothing about any of that made me want to get outside of my car. I felt safe in the car for some reason. And so we get out, and everybody on the road starts packing stuff out of their trunks onto their bodies, trying to, like, run down the road, leaving their cars on the street. Like a whole herd of people. So we get to we're like, where are we running to? And the cop guy was just like, just run. And I'm like, where? You know, so the whole street is running down to the intersection of Wagstaff and Skyway. And there is a antique store called Needful Things. So one of the firemen broke the lock on the door and made everyone get inside the building. And it was wall-to-wall people choking. The smoke was terrible. So we sat in this antique store for an hour or so, and this little man shows up in a shuttle bus from a old folks home in Chico. And he opens the door and says, "I've got 4 seats if anyone wants to go." So I grabbed my daughter, and we got on this little shuttle bus. And this dude was like at least 80 years old. He might have been a patient there. Just they let him drive the van. I don't know. But this guy was like hauling ass when he could and slamming on the brakes when he had to try to get us off this mountain. This little shuttle bus was maybe a 20-seater. There was easily 50 people in this bus, crammed, standing in a sardine fashion. And he got it. It took us an hour.
Well, you guys
It took us 1 hour to get down, but that guy got us down. We were running over shit. It was crazy. So then he dropped us all off at the fairground in Chico at the bottom of the Skyway, where we met up with family and were able to go get motel rooms for the next several months, you know, stay with family, whatever you got to do. But yeah, it was crazy. So I haven't really had a home in about 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I lost my home. We got some videos about that. Lost my car, like pretty much had to just start over. And so did my entire family. It wasn't just me. It's not like I can just go to mom's house or, you know, it's all gone. Yeah. So that was crazy. But, you know, that's, I think, what it took for me to go, okay, you know, I have to start over in life now, like everything. Like, what do I really want? What do I want to do? Where do I want to be? So I'm kind of finding where in Northern California I want to be. I know I like this area. You know, just not sure of the space yet, you know.
Yeah. Well, is that kind of also what inspired you to start your YouTube channel? Starting from scratch again?
Yeah, it gives me an excuse to go explore new places, visit old ones, you know. Gives me an excuse. Well, I got to make a video for Tuesday. Got to go, you know, like.
So that's your
It's a hobby, basically. It's not like my career. I'm just, you know, it's a really fun hobby. I really enjoy it. I enjoy my subscribers. They comment, the most amazing, kind people. I feel like I have a really awesome batch of people that watch my videos. They're like the kindest, sweetest people.
That's good. So you read the comments, and I'm like...
I interact as much as I can. It's not like there's an overwhelming amount of comments that I can't handle.
Just wait till next year, watch. You're not gonna be able to...
You know? Well, we got to keep it in moderation, you know.
Yeah. No, that's super, super interesting. I mean, I'm glad I came across you because I thought about doing something similar to what you're doing, and I'm glad you are, so I can just watch you do it, you know. And
that's the thing is, like, some people can't go.
Yeah.
You know, so they can watch from home, or some people live in Ohio. You know, I have a few subscribers that live in Ohio, or people that used to live in California, and it reminds them, and they get to go, and they don't have to pay for gas, you know, that kind of thing. So, you know, maybe you lived here your whole life, but you didn't know about that one weird street with 1,000 birdhouses on the fence, you know, like.
And what street is that with 1,000 birdhouses? Do you have one?
It's in Chico, I think, off of Sacramento Avenue. In Chico, it's called.
How did you find out about that?
A friend of mine said you should make a video. A friend of mine had a World War II bunker in her backyard, and they invited me over to do a video there and check that out. So I have this World War II bunker video. And from that, she was like, okay, so go check out these birdhouses. So I did, and they're amazing. I couldn't believe it.
Did you know
Treasure.
that the Sutter Buttes are missile silos?
I heard there's missile silos in there. I know there's some at the Chico airport.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Chico airport used to be, it was commandeered by the Army
Really?
during World War II. So there's all these buildings. Just check out my Chico airport video. Nobody watches it, but it's pretty interesting because it shows all the government buildings,
Mm-hmm.
and there were silos all around it. I mean, that was like headquarters. All these like hotshot pilots and stuff, MiG pilots were trained at the Chico airport during I mean, it's crazy. It's a great video.
I don't even remember when I found out. Somebody told me that their dad worked at Beale and at Sutter Buttes, and I was like, what? And I was wondering, no wonder you can't you can hike it. I think like one time out of the year, like in the spring. There's a land trust.
Yeah,
hike,
there's some strange things going
but
on.
they won't let you enter the vicinity. You
Yeah.
know, and I was like, why can't you hike this?
Who knows
smallest
why? It's
mountain
all a
range?
big question mark, isn't it?
There's probably UFOs coming.
Nobody
out of there,
knows. You know, yeah. Same thing about Shasta. You know.
Well, yeah, I know. I've seen those
Shasta's
funnel
got some-
clouds, right?
What are those called? Lenticular clouds.
And lenticular.
Yeah.
They're not funnel clouds.
No, that's a tornado.
Is that? Okay.
Funnel
yeah,
cloud
you're
is a
right,
tornado.
You're right, but the circular ones that look like a UFO,
They're
right?
lenticular, yeah, and they
Okay.
look like big motherships.
Is that? Okay.
Yeah.
Are you sure they're not?
Yeah, my video about Mount Shasta is pretty informative.
Oh, yeah, it talks about that?
Yep, talks about all kinds of different things going on up there.
So check out the Mount Shasta video on Finding NorCal.
Oh my goodness.
So, what is one of the scariest trips you've made on your YouTube channel?
Scary. Yeah, I don't really do scary. I'm not really a daredevil.
Well, I don't know. Like
Or,
challenging kind of. It just, you're planning to go and all these things
You know,
happen.
every time I plan to do a video, like, it never works out. There'll be people there. There'll be something happening. And my videos sometimes just come spur of the moment, and I'm in that neighborhood, so I have a few extra minutes. I will drive down this road, or I will explore this little area. But it seems like if I plan stuff, it doesn't work out. I
That's
mean,
funny.
it just kind of happens.
That's funny.
Or I have ideas, you know, like my Google Maps on my phone. I have like a million pins of things I'd like to do.
Okay.
But am I going to actually make it to them, you know?
From those a million pins, how do you kind of...
I decide like where I'm going to be, you know, where do I want to be? If it's hot, do I want to go to the ocean? If it's cold, do I want to maybe go over to the desert? Like, you know, I try to at least, you know, once a month go just devote like a day or two to making videos.
Do you have a big destination you want to go in Northern California? Is there one that you must see?
Well, being from Washington State, like, I'm really into the tribal art of the Pacific Northwest Indians.
Okay.
I think it's really beautiful. I paint too, and I've painted. They do a lot of like nature stuff, like eat animals, fish,
Mhm.
whales, orcas. So I've done a few, and I just love that art, and that all pretty much, you know, you can see that kind of art on totem poles. So supposedly the world's largest totem pole is in McKinleyville, over by Crescent City.
Mhm.
Arcata, I think, over in that little area,
Mhm.
Northern California coast. So I need to see this giant.
Are those Ohlone tribes,
totem.
or what are that?
I'm not sure. See, and then when I get this idea, then of course I want to start researching, and I'll make myself little, you know, notes about it. So then when I go do the video, I don't feel like a moron trying to be like, I don't know what this is. Isn't it weird? Like,
I hear you.
But I
No.
do those videos too.
No, I love-
We're like, let's find out together what this is about. I have no idea.
Yeah,
you
I love history podcasts. You ever listen
Yeah,
to any of them?
yeah, I do, and I enjoy, like, you know, making it informative. Maybe you'll learn something. History is important. Northern California is so full of just amazing gold rush, Indian, Native Americans.
Have you been in Nevada City?
Love
and,
it. Yeah, I've been, just not
the
with my
mines?
camera.
Oh, okay.
So see, these are things that I will revisit
Okay.
at some point. Yeah.
Because I know, that's what it was, right? Nevada City was a miner town that, like,
Grass Valley has
Was
the
it Grass
Empire
Valley?
Mine.
okay.
Yeah, all that's up there is lode mining, which means like tunneling through mountains. So here we have placer mining, which is loose gold in the river gravels.
Okay.
So you would pan or sluice to get that, where up there, just up the hill, you have to literally drill through mountains.
But there's mines though, right?
Oh yeah,
Like,
there's tons.
are they
of
open
mines.
to the public or?
There's a few. Yeah. They
And
give tours.
And those are on your list, or?
Oh yeah, totally.
Have you been to the Big Sur?
Big Sur, yes, I have. One of my very favorite restaurants in all of the world that I've been to is Nepenthe.
Okay.
Nepenthe restaurant, right on the edge of the North American continent, just hanging over the edge, have a glass of wine, you know.
Okay. So what was the meal you had there?
I don't even remember.
Or was it the view?
I had wine and a view, and they have a really amazing gift shop.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent a lot of time in that gift shop.
The gift shop.
Browsing. Can't afford anything in there, but it's just a cool place. It's been there forever. I think it's probably a historic spot by now.
So what history podcast do you listen to?
Oh my God. I like, not a podcast. I'm not really a podcast listener.
Audiobooks?
I do listen to audio is I listen to Coast AM every evening before I go to bed. I can't get enough of that. It's interesting. I do some audio books. I don't really do much podcasting. I did some Joe Rogan there for a while, but it just got kind of repetitive. I don't know. I just kind of fell out of interest with Joe.
Yeah, a lot of women don't like
Once he left California, I'm like, Joe, I'm going to stay and fight. I'm not leaving.
I was I'm moving.
Joe.
I was like, I'm moving to Austin. I'll just become Joe's security guard or something.
Yeah, Joe, no. Yeah, so, I don't know. I'm more of a visual, so I like, a lot of YouTuber channels I watch that kind of do the same thing I do, but in different places,
Okay. Yeah, no, Joe Rogan changed my life because I heard him. I was working at Thunder Valley Casino. It was Valentine's Day. I was married at the time. Me and my goddaughter's dad, we drove to Whole Foods in Roseville and bought some dried steaks and some lobster. I think they gave you the lobster because it was Valentine's Day. And I think he worked for Coors Light, and he was like the sales district manager from like Reno. So that's all he did was drive, right? And he was playing Joe Rogan, and that's the first time. I knew who he was, and I watched the UFC and everything. And
yeah, we've all seen Fear Factor and News Radio and that kind of Joe Rogan stuff, but I think he really shines in his own podcast. I do. I think he shines. That's what he was meant to do.
Yeah, but I think he's helped a lot of people though, because he just shows that if you're consistent with something and you just keep doing it,
exactly,
and you're authentic, because they try to cancel him many times.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know the Carlos Mencia.
Right, I know who that is.
Do you know about that story?
Oh yeah, they got into a little tiff.
He
stole his jokes or something.
No, he was stealing comedians' jokes.
Oh.
And he was like, I don't know if you remember Dave Chappelle.
Oh, I know Dave Chappelle.
So he replaced Dave Chappelle because, like, even Dave Chappelle, I don't know where I heard it, he left because he got so big that they started trying to tell him what to do. And his stuff was like, if it offends you, then I know it's good, right? And I remember it was like one of the funniest skit shows I think ever, and everyone thought he went crazy that he got like $50 million. But it wasn't that.
Right.
It's that Comedy Central wanted him to do things a certain way.
Yeah, no.
And everyone's, telling you, how is that going to be fun? Being told what to do, and it's like, come on, he's the one that built it, right?
It's like selling out, I think is what it's called. It's like you finally just sell out to what they want you to do. You lose all your artistic rights to everything, and it's no longer even what you had in mind, what your passion or vision was. It's changed.
A lot of people don't know that.
YouTube is that way. Like, you have to be careful with your Patreon members and people that make donos to your channel have like ideas of, well, maybe you should do this, or
advertisers too. If they don't like what you're saying,
it's like, no, thanks for the donation, but you don't get to call shots here. Like, it's my channel. I'm gonna make you watch whatever weird video I want to put up, and that's how mine is. Like, you never know where we're going. Like, I just kind of keep you guessing with what is this week's video gonna be.
You know what? I've seen a couple of yours videos, but now that I'm listening to it, I'm going to have to watch like all of them.
I have over 180 videos.
180, huh?
Yeah.
Is there a goal? 1,000?
No. I mean, I just want to make videos as long as I can.
Every Tuesday.
Because I think it's fun.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I know I'm a goober, but it's fun to do.
I don't think she's a goober. I think she's passionate about Northern California and the outdoors and taking our viewers on a ride and being
Definitely.
spur of the moment. You're an artist. And
Definitely.
honestly, I had no idea you were an artist.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I want to do is I want to talk with artists and learn from them. And
Well, when I make a video, I literally call it like my new baby.
Mhm.
Like I just made this out of... It didn't exist before I did it. Now I have this thing. It's like, you know, it takes a lot of work. Editing is no fun, but it's part of it. And if you pay someone to edit for you, you just lose everything. So, I mean,
It's true.
I do it all. I take the footage, I edit, I deal with all the emails and messages and, you know.
Jesus, I don't know if I could reply to emails or comments. Like, to me, that would be overwhelming.
It's fun.
I mean, I kind of like editing and talking with people. I mean, the whole point of this is for me to make a connection with somebody.
Right.
Because when I started, it was Skype or Zoom. And even though I learned from a lot of those people, I mean, that's one of the reasons I started Ubering is, do you know what a deprivation tank is?
Yes.
Sensory deprivation? Yeah. So this one guy started one in Sacramento called Capital Floats. And he used to work for a soccer team in San Jose, the Earthquake or whatever. I don't know. It was like a nice thing.
Earthquakes.
Earthquakes. What did I call them?
It's so funny. It probably is the Earthquakes.
Something like that, right? I don't know what they're called. And it was a nice job, you know, he had everything, but he wanted to do something different.
Right.
So he started Ubering, right? As like, because he wanted it, he's seen what it does. Or I don't know if he might have took psychedelics. He might have took ayahuasca or something. I can't 100% remember. And I don't know if the vision or whatever he saw had him try to start the float company. And I guess it's going well for him now, and he has like more of them. But that's what gave me the idea of Ubering. Not that I never wanted to do it. I mean, I just thought when I did it, I was helping people in the Bay Area start their own podcasts. And it was tough because I'd teach them something and they'd be like, how do you do it again? And I'd be like, oh my God. Like I had to physically go there, right? And show them how to do it. And then I would see like people posting like, you know, if you Uber, you could do this. And I remember still being afraid. Like
It's a lot of strangers to deal with. And
yeah.
If you're not a people person or, you know, it could be rough.
Well, talking to people.
Everyone's different.
Yeah.
Like you're going to get something different and it's a surprise.
Yeah.
Every time that door opens.
Yes. And I think that's why it worked for me was because it wasn't planned. It was just spur of the moment. And honestly, it was one of the funnest years of my life.
Right.
Because I met people.
It's easy work. You drive.
Well, yes and no.
I mean, what else do you have to do?
No.
Did you have like little breath mints and a bottle of water and stuff back
You know
before?
what? What I did.
Did you have complimentaries for your writers?
No, none of that. All I had was like a charger, but somebody stole it from me. Like it was in the back, so it was like one of those battery chargers, so they could plug their.
Right.
So they didn't have to run it all the way
And
through the front.
someone stole it.
In Oakland. Yeah, and it was like, I should have known better than to leave it back there. And picking people up like at 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning, you know, sooner or later. I was always afraid of going to Oakland. But eventually you find like people in the East Bay are actually nicer than the people in the city. You know, they call San Francisco the city and East Bay Oakland.
San Francisco is a strange bird. It really is. It's a very unique city with the most unique,
every neighborhood's different.
Diverse.
Every neighborhood.
City. I can't think of another one. I mean, it's a trip. San Francisco. I always get like this crazy anxiety when I'm there. Like it doesn't feel safe to be there. I just automatically think 1909 earthquake.
That's
you know,
funny.
and it's like there's 2 bridges out of here, and they both were built like 100 years ago. Like
You know what?
You know, like I get this weird like panic. I've seen 2012 too many times. Like, you know, that didn't help. Like I have an uneasy feeling about San Francisco.
Where were you when the Oroville Dam was about to break?
I was in my house in Paradise, up the hill from Oroville, about 20 miles from the dam, but uphill. And my boyfriend and his daughter, who lived in Oroville, under the dam, came and stayed at my house for a couple days until I don't even remember how long it was, but they were evacuated. Like the whole city of Oroville was evacuated.
I was in Oakland. I had a home. I had a home in Marysville, in East Marysville, and my brother called me. And he's like, "Don't come out here." Blah 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 blah. And like I saw on the news, 100,000 people trying to leave.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I decided to come back. I came to grab stuff, just documents and stuff, just in case if it flooded. But it wasn't a good idea because it was literally I don't know, hours before or something everyone left, and I came back. Right, I was like, they're not gonna stop me to come in. Came to my house, grabbed my stuff, and I was tired, and I go, I'm just gonna smoke some weed and go to sleep. And instead, no, I get this anxiety, or I don't know if I had a dream. I don't know what the hell.
You weren't alone. That was, I lived a good 1,000 feet in elevation above that dam, and my eyes were glued to it the whole time. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I have fished that lake many times. I've been all around it. I know a bunch of people live below it. The flood path went all the way to Sacramento or something. I
remember that.
Some crazy map showing how much water would come out of there if it failed. And it's an earth-filled dam. It's not concrete. It's not solid like Shasta. So it's scary.
I never thought it would break, me and my ex-wife, we bought a home close to Sutter, and it was a new tract home, right, brand new built, and they're, for the insurance, they're flood insurance. We're over here on this other side, and they're if the Oroville Dam is and that was in 2008, right?
Right.
And then
way back,
all that stuff started coming back to me, right? And I was sleeping in my bed or trying to sleep, and then I have these visions of that it broke, and I'm floating down the fucking river. With
Northern California is super extreme when it comes to weather. We're either flooding, or we're in a mega drought, or there are fires everywhere for months on end, and you can't breathe. It's very extreme.
But it's beautiful.
It's so beautiful. We have everything. We really do. But it can be extreme. You have to be tough to live in Northern California. Yeah. I don't know about SoCal, how tough you have to be.
I don't know. It's
maybe a different kind of tough.
But it's getting bad, I think. That's why Rogan left, though, because he knew.
There's no nature down there is my thing. There is no nature. There's just cement and barren wasteland. Yeah. I need my mountains. I need my rivers. My crystal clear lakes. You go back east or even the Midwest. Have you seen lakes in Arkansas or
no.
And there's people in their boats swimming around. I'm the water looks like chocolate milk. It's just dirty water. Not dirty, I mean as in actual dirt in the water, not.
I've heard a hunter that lives somewhere in Arkansas, central Arkansas, and he was
just anywhere.
He
California
was saying how
has
pretty it was, though.
The West Coast up and down has clear running beautiful water. I'm a water person, and I have to be near clear water.
I grew up by the ocean.
That's just nature for me.
I love it. I love the coast, the beach, right?
Yeah.
With nobody on it, though. That's my thing, right?
I made the mistake of going to Maui a couple times, and it ruined my beach for me. Mm-hmm. Where before I went to Maui, I would go to our beach, any of our beaches, and be perfectly content with, this is a great beach. I love it. It's so awesome. So when I went to Maui, I came back, and I'm this beach is cold, kelpy, murky, salty. My eyes had changed. So I haven't been going to the beach since I got back from Maui a few years ago. It's just not. It ruined the beach for me in California.
Was it hot? The beach in Maui, the water was.
The water's about 78, 80 degrees, crystal clear. The salinity is really low, so your eyes don't burn, and you can barely taste the salt.
Every once in a while to swallow it.
There's no kelp there's kelp, but it's not like our beach that's really cold, 50 degrees.
What's your favorite Northern California beach?
Northern California, I do like Glass Beach. There's lots of treasure to find there. Fort Bragg.
Fort Bragg.
Fort Bragg, Glass Beach. Used to be a dump.
Bridgeport. What am I saying? I know, you know.
Used to be a dump. So people would literally back up to this cove in Fort Bragg and dump their crap into the ocean, and that was their answer for garbage. So I think in the 70s, environmentalists found out about that and went down and cleaned up all the big chunks, but everything else had gotten ground up. So you have a lot of sea glass. I mean, mountains of sea glass, all different colors, ceramics, just interesting, weird stuff that's been polished by the sea. So, Treasure Beach.
So the garbage is pretty much gone?
Yeah, the garbage is gone now. It's all protected. You're not even allowed to take the sea glass now.
Mm-hmm. Really?
For some reason, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they don't. They've cracked down on, because, everyone would go down there and bring a bucket or maybe just a handful. So this beach, if you watch my video about Glass Beach.
Glass Beach?
Yeah, tell you how many visitors go each year. It's pretty amazing. So if everyone takes a bucket or a handful, there will be no more glass. So they put an end to you taking the glass from there, which is really just garbage. It's the dump. You're picking up litter, basically, but no, now it's a thing. And
do you think that they're doing that because tourists won't come back if you don't have that glass there no more?
Yeah, it is. Fort Bragg's like an old lumber mill town, I would say, on the beach. And it's super, I don't want to say depressed, but just not much going on there. So Glass Beach is like a real getter of business for them.
No, I mean, I don't care where the coast, even if it's cold, as long as there's just a lot of sand to walk it.
Yeah.
Because where I come from, I think it might still be the best beach. Have you been to Seacliff Beach, State Beach in Aptos?
That sounds familiar. I've done the whole coast several times, up and down.
Well,
so
driving or walking?
Driving, and then walking some, but...
So when I was Ubering in San Francisco, I went to Stetson Beach and Pacific Beach, Half Moon Bay, walking. I would literally take a day and explore, because this is, I love beaches. And honestly, there's no comparison to my hometown. Not Santa Cruz, but...
What's your hometown?
Watsonville, Aptos area.
Okay. So just north of... Well...
It's Santa Cruz County. It's south. I mean, they connect.
Did you grow up going to the...
yeah, I literally live 10 minutes away from
the Gilroy Garlic Festival?
No, the Garlic Festival was over the hill, Mount Madonna. I think I went once when I was...
That place is a trip.
The Garlic Festival?
No, the Madonna Inn.
Mount Madonna.
Madonna Inn.
I don't know if
it's been there since I was a kid. It's still there.
Is it still there?
It's still there, and every room has this crazy different theme. And they have this really crazy restaurant.
Have you done a video on there?
It's a definite have to go.
You haven't?
I went when I was a kid, but I haven't been since I have a channel.
No, but why did we go? I'm trying to think why we would always go over Mount Madonna.
There was some kind of pass there. I grew up...
I guess the Gilroy Outlets, we used to go there.
Something.
My
mom was a driver. I had a single mom, and she was a driver. We cruised. I think that's where I get it from is, the ants in the pants. I can't just sit here. Let's go do something, so.
You know what? I'm the same way, and I have a 9-year-old daughter, but she never wants to go nowhere. I think because of COVID, right? For 2 years, it kind of affected her. Yeah. And, I'm trying to always be okay, these are, I try to get days off during the week so we can go, but she never wants to go. I took her to, Midtown's Farmer Market. She did not want to try anything. I'm even if just take a bite
it might be the age she's at, too.
Yeah, they're picky at that age, right?
Yeah.
And she just wants to, I don't know, Roblox. But not really, only if her girlfriends are playing, her friends that she knows from school, but she won't play it just to play it. And now she's getting into Harry Potter. Don't ask me why. I have no idea. But
I actually just revisited the Capitol Flea Market in San Jose.
Is it still there?
Okay, so it's the drive-in movies.
Oh, I know what it is.
Okay, and then on the weekend it becomes the flea market. So I used to go all the time when I was a kid. So I recently went down there and I'm I saw it was open from the freeway. You drive by, it's right next to the freeway. And I'm no way it's open. So I thought, okay, I'm going just to go see if the same swing set was still there that I used to
was
play on
I
as a
don't remember
kid.
a swing
There's a little
set.
playground out there. If the snack
Was it
bar
on the
is the
parking
same.
lot?
It's right next to the snack bar. There's like a
Okay.
round snack bar in the middle.
And when you're coming in, or
Like in the middle of it's like a circle, so it'd be in the very middle.
okay.
So I was like, cool. So, but the only movie that I was playing was Dumbledore, which I call Dumbledore. So I literally paid money to sit there, and I think there's only like 6 other cars there. Like, it wasn't like I remembered, but it was fun
It's
to
a
go.
drive-through now, or
It's a fun to go.
drive-in?
It's always been a drive-in. It's still
Okay.
going today. The Capitol Flea
That's
Market
crazy.
and drive-in movies in San Jose.
That's cool.
California.
No, I remember going there. I remember going there as a kid.
Yeah.
And
I saw Jaws there as a tiny kid.
but I never saw movies. I just went to the flea market. I would just go
the
to the
flea market was epic. Yeah.
Because I dropped somebody off. You know how there's houses now where there used to be a parking lot?
There's houses everywhere in San Jose
Yeah.
now.
No, but I remember the parking lot was just a huge parking lot. I don't
Yeah.
know if you remember that. It was like you have to cross the street.
Yeah.
And I dropped off this person in these like condos, and I was like, "What the fuck? Holy shit! That's the flea market!" Like I couldn't believe it. Like,
Yeah, they used to play like R-rated movies. So I remember being like a kid and we'd be driving down the freeway, me and my mom, and she'd like push my head down because like some dirty stuff's on the screen that like everyone can see from the freeway. And people are like driving slow, trying to look, and like, because they're pointed at the freeway. So, I mean, yeah, so as a kid, had some
hilarious.
parental editing
That's-
driving by there.
Well, in Watsonville, we had a drive-in, and I remember my parents didn't even speak English, and we're watching Rambo and all these action, or was it? What's that guy's name? I'm calling him Action Bronson. That's a chef on Vice, but Bronson. Talking about
Charles Bronson?
Charles Bronson. There you go.
Yeah, Charles
Yeah.
Bronson's badass in my eyes.
Yeah,
He
no,
is.
my dad loved all that.
He didn't
stuff.
get anywhere on looks. We know that. The guy's badass.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be pretty.
Yeah, we
You
saw. Yeah, that's. Do you know his story?
No, I don't.
I think,
never looked into the Charles Bronson
Well, I
story.
heard a comedian talk about him that he had a Polish name or something, and I think the street he lived on was Bronson or something, and that's
funny.
That's what he changed his name
Funny.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
So, do you have anything that you'd like to share, or anything that is important for you?
What's important for me is I just acquired a boat.
There you go.
So I am super excited about that. And I plan on exploring some places in my boat.
Have you been to Bullard's Bar?
I don't want to talk about Bullard's Bar because I don't want to ruin it.
So you've been
It's
there.
one of my secret happy places.
Yeah.
That, like, I'm not going to talk about it because
You don't want
some
people
stuff
to-
I keep for myself.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not going to
it
blow
is-
the secret.
No, I hear that. I hear that. I mean, with me, like,
Orville, that's where everyone should go.
yeah, Oroville, Folsom Lake, Folsom,
Yeah.
Oroville, Bridgeport.
When there's water. But see, it's good too because, I mean, this boat I got, I can go all seasons. When the water's high, you get back in the canyons further. When the water's low, you're seeing inundated old town sites. You're finding Native American artifacts. You're finding historic artifacts from the pioneers and miners. There's, rock hounding to do. There's fishing all year. Just being out in nature, it's like a whole different world out there. So I'm most excited about the boat. Yeah, that's what's next for NorCal is we're going boating.
Do you try to go to the snow when it's snowing, or
Yep, I try to go to the snow.
like anything interesting that you want to like kind of explore during winter?
I have like a whole stack of index cards with each one is like a different idea or a different place. So there's no end. There's not like I'm going to run out of ideas anytime soon. It's just what will fit in my life right now
Yeah.
is how I choose them. So it's not like I have a list where I'm like check each one off. It's like what will fit in this week,
Yeah.
So yes, I have lots of stuff
Yeah.
ready to go. Just got to go do it.
Yeah.
So.
I hear you. I mean, like April says, this looks easy to just sit down and talk, and it's not. You have to, like with me, I gotta set up guests. I gotta, fix these 3 cameras, make sure they look nice, beautiful background, and April.
Rachel. Usually I get Amber. People like call me Amber,
Heard, huh?
and since this Amber Heard shit, like now I'm like that's an insult. Like before I'm like, oh no, it's April, it's not Amber. But now I'm like super offended. I'm like, no, it's not Amber, it's April.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
But yeah, now I've just moved back to Butte County from Tehama County, so back in Butte County.
And you have places to explore here, huh?
My videos about Oroville do very well.
Mm-hmm.
People are interested in Oroville. So, I'm here.
Well, I'm glad April is here because she's doing all the work I can't do. And she's making my life easier because I can, I work a lot, but I can see where she goes and learn something along the way. And,
they're videos you could watch with your children or your grandparents. I try not to do anything offensive. I mean, corny, yes. Boring sometimes, but, kind of just crowd-pleasing type stuff.
I think people like it, though, because people like... think about it. How many places are you going to find out, right? You can watch something, your things aren't that long. And you can kind of figure out your next trip if you live somewhere close by. If you live an hour away, you can go explore something.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this channel. I've been doing it for a year, and I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. It's fun. It's a great hobby.
It is, and I look forward to watching April's channel and seeing it grow and having her back on here. I don't know, winter, next year, whenever, we can keep catching up.
Yeah, maybe I'll come... do a video about your store. Check that out.
You're always welcome.
Well, I've never been in one, so I could check it out, learn something myself, and possibly get a couple people go your way too.
Maybe.
So that could be fun.
Yeah. Well, any parting words here, April?
I just want to thank all my subscribers and my rose bush here.
I want to hug you.
Right. My boyfriend, my kid, like all my people that help make it possible for me to just leave regular life and go make videos for you guys. So, I want to do a live stream, my first live stream.
Do you have Instagram, Twitter, any social media? Just Facebook and YouTube?
I have Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing. I don't really do much on my Instagram, but definitely you can follow me on Facebook at Finding NorCal.
Mm-hmm. And then just leave your comments on YouTube. Give you some destinations to go check out.
Comment, like, subscribe on my videos. Helps me grow. Helps the AI pick me up and, get me to new viewers.
No, I've seen April's channel just growing tremendously. When I first reached out to her, did I reach out to you a couple years ago? No.
No, I think it might have been I don't know. It's been a while, but
2020.
I don't think it was that far, but it's been a while. But I grow about 30 subscribers a month, pretty steady. I think that's pretty awesome, and I'm super grateful that people even want to watch this. Or, there's no tits and ass. There's no, crime. It's not about me, all you perverts out there. It's about the stuff.
Yeah.
So, I try not to make it so much about me. I'm trying to show you something. Pay attention,
Well, thank you, April. Thank you so much. We're here. It's been almost an hour. I appreciate April's time and letting me come and record here on the spot, and check her out again at Finding NorCal. And thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, thanks for having me.